All right, for more on the markets then, we are joined by Sachin Shah, Fund Manager at Emkay Investment Managers. Sachin, hi, good morning. How would you approach the market from here on? Do you think the market is set for more gains, the correction is behind us, or would you be a bit more cautious now?
Well, one thing is for sure that the undertone in the market continues to be very, very buoyant. And the most important thing is that all the FII flows have been a little subdued, but there hasn't been any significant withdrawals on that side. So even if you take the last 2 weeks data, I think if you even out the cash and futures overall, I think the net outflow has just been about $500 million. And on the other side, the domestic institutions have also invested close to about $500 million. So the net institutional flows hasn't really been negative in the last 2 weeks or so. Yes, there has been some selling in the debt markets by the FIIs, which is about close to about another $500 million. But I don't think that's very significant. So at the same time, we are also almost at the end of the earnings season. And so that's one good data point that we've seen, where in a lot of companies have delivered very, very good results. So in fact, in each of the sectors, one would find that some of the companies have delivered quite good results. On the other side, on the macro front, what we have also seen is that in the early July or mid-July, the monsoon scenario was quite bad. And from there, we've come back quite well. So that's another good thing. One other very important macro data point, which is very helpful for the Indian economy and particularly for our current account deficit and currency so far, is the oil price. Oil price have been sliding quite significantly in the last 2-3 weeks, and in fact now they are below $103, which is a good drop of almost $10 if you compare it for the last couple of months back. So some of these data points continue to be positive, and I think that's one of the reasons why we feel that the undertone is very, very buoyant.
Okay. Sachin, hi, good to see you in today. We have earnings season now, which is pretty much behind us, and it was mixed. There were quite a few hits and misses this time round. But going forward, what are the next set of cues that the market is possibly going to be most reactive to, or will be watching out for most closely? Is it going to be global?
Well, it will be global and local both. So monsoon is still, we still have the entire, the second half of monsoon still to play out. And let's hope that this revival continues in a strong fashion as it has done in the month of from mid-July to mid-August. So that's one big factor, I would say. Second, I think currencies also, we hope that the currency stabilizes around 60, which is what the RBI's endeavor has been, and they've been fairly successful in the last few months. And if that continues to be there, then I think that also helps a lot of corporates in terms of the planning and those kind of things. And again, that's also dependent on some of the global factors as you mentioned. So it's a combination of a few of these things. But I think the most important thing is that companies which have delivered very good numbers, I think their outlook as we go ahead is going to be very, very critical, because they've already shown the first signs of confidence in terms of delivery of the numbers. And in fact, if you pick up each of these sectors, whether it's IT, we've seen TCS done well. We've seen a big change at Infosys. Their cost structures are in place. We now have a new guy there, so to get the top line. If you look at auto, Hero Motors, Maruti, Eicher, as you mentioned earlier on the show, in fact, even Bajaj Auto, because of their exports, all these companies, Mahindra, because of the better product mix, in spite of the lower volumes, continue to do well. And these are some of the very lead indicators for the economy as we go ahead. Even in the private sector banking, they continue to do well. Pharma space, if you look at Sun Pharma, if you look at Lupin, some of the leaders have done extremely well results. Of course, there have been some misses, I agree. But in each of the sectors, if telecom numbers have been very, very good for the domestic market. So, some of these leading sectors and some of these leading companies have delivered very, very good numbers, and I think the more work needs to be done there.
Okay, Sachin, talking about some of the numbers, BHEL is reacting quite sharply on the way down. At 6.5% lower, would you buy it or would you wait for some more correction?
No, we would certainly avoid this sector at this point in time, because our sense when we talk to the corporates in the power equipment industry, we feel that the next 2-3 years the major capex is going to happen on the transmission and the distribution side rather than the generation side. So clearly there is going to be some pressure on the power equipment manufacturers, particularly the large ones like the BHEL, and so we would rather concentrate in the power sector on the T&D space. And in fact, if you see the power grid results this quarter, they were quite good, and the outlook is also very, very positive. So we would like to concentrate on some of in that space more.
Okay. Any specific earnings or any specific stock ideas in the mid caps at least that you like in terms of possibly recommending to your clients at current levels for further upside for the rest of the year?
No, as I said, across the board, if you look at every sector, you will find one or two stocks which have done very well. For example, say in auto, if you look at the results of a company, which is a small cap company called, say, Sundaram Fasteners, where we own a decent amount of position, has done extremely well, particularly because of their exports business. If you look at, say, something in IT, and I just looked at the results of a very small cap company called Sonata Software, again they have delivered excellent numbers. If you look at, say, somebody even in the private sector banking, a couple of small banks have also delivered decent results. I believe Federal Bank was decent in this quarter. There seems to be some stability in terms of their asset quality. So in each of the sectors, one would look at, one would get some good investment picks because the results have been very good.
Okay. Fair enough, Sachin. We leave it at that. Thanks very much for joining in and giving us your views. Well, those were some interesting ideas that came through, such as Sundaram Fasteners as well as Sonata Software, which according to Sachin Shah were actually good numbers for this quarter gone by. But